pregnancy or your period. Sometimes it's really difficult to distinguish between the two, which is why in this video, I'm breaking down some interesting early signs of pregnancy that you might not be aware of. Coming up. Hello my friend, and welcome back to the Kids OT Help channel. If you happen to be new here, hi there. I'm so happy you're here. My name is Nicole. I'm a mama. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist as well as a certified lactation counselor. And this channel is all about helping to make motherhood easier on you by sharing my education, my life experiences, and some awesome tools, tips, and strategies that I've learned along the way. So if that sounds like something you're into, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. That way you don't miss out on our weekly helpful tips. So if you're here, you're likely wondering if you might be pregnant, and maybe it's too early for the test to tell you definitively one way or the other, so you are looking for clues. Now, I'm going to start with some of the more common early symptoms that you probably have read and known, but these were my first indicators in terms of yeah, I definitely think I'm pregnant. And that is your boobs getting bigger. And this happened so quickly for me. Again, this is like the first sign I had in terms of like dead ringer, I'm pregnant, is all of the sudden my bra had no more room in it. My boobs just grew pretty tremendously in a very short period of time. And along with that came soreness. Now, along with your chest expanding in a relatively short period of time, some of you might also experience soreness. And again, the combination of my boobs growing so quickly with the soreness is just a dead ringer for me. I experienced that with Kai when I was pregnant with Kai. And so I knew automatically, I'm like, oh yeah, 100%. That's what this is. It's not a period. My boobs don't get this big when I'm about to start my period. So another symptom that you may or may not be aware of is stretching pain from your uterus expanding, and maybe you experience some cramping. Now, when the uterus expands, it can cause the muscle to sort of contract, which causes some mild cramping. And I think that that's where a lot of women become confused in terms of, is this cramping like my period's coming, or is this cramping like my uterus is expanding and something is growing inside of it? And for me, it's why it's really important to keep track of all of your symptoms and the things that you're experiencing, because each individual symptom on its own is not really helpful in terms of painting a picture as to whether you are, in the early stages of pregnancy or whether your body is just gearing up for a gnarly period. So again, you have the cramping maybe because your uterus is beginning to stretch, your breasts are growing, there's some soreness, and then bloating is also another common early symptom. And again, that's one of those things that can happen if you eat the wrong thing, so it's really difficult to determine if you're not paying attention to all of your symptoms together. And I'll say that in my experience, along with these other symptoms that I've mentioned, instead of having like total stomach bloating, I noticed that my uterus had just kind of taken form of a tiny little bump. It was the strangest thing because it didn't really stick around. It didn't last that long, but it was just the very early stages of my pregnancy where my uterus was kind of like, let's expand a little bit. Let's try this on for size. And so I could distinguish this small little bump in my uterus from the rest of my stomach. And to me, it was like 1,000%. 1,000% I'm pregnant. Add that with the sore boobs, the big boobs, and the cramping, like, I'm pregnant. And the final interesting sign I want to touch on is constipation. And this is actually really tightly linked to the hormone changes that are taking place in our body as our body is gearing up for this pregnancy. So if you notice that you're having difficulty with the bathroom or your schedule is off, it could be because you are in the early days of pregnancy and maybe the test just isn't able to detect it yet. So again, any one of these symptoms in isolation probably aren't very helpful in painting the full picture, but if you're able to keep track of your symptoms and you notice that you're experiencing some of the symptoms that I've mentioned in this video, then you might be in the early days of pregnancy. And if you're interested in learning more about early pregnancy or how pregnancies progress and affect our body, be sure to check out my weekly diary in which I'm detailing how my body is changing and how the pregnancy is progressing week by week. I hope you found this video helpful. Please feel free to leave any questions or comments below, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.